Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Vasily Built for Speed, and today we're doing a service on a 2019 Sprinter Mercedes 3500 XD, but it should be the same for the 2500 with the 3-liter diesel engine. But these ones are 2019 and newer. I know for a fact because in the 2019 and newer they changed the turbo flange and all that stuff. I don't know whether they changed the transmission as much, I don't think so, but it may work for the older models also. But 2019 and newer, this is the video for you, for the Mercedes Sprinter with the 3-liter diesel engine. We're going to be doing the transmission service, so I'm going to be draining oil, dropping the pan, changing the filter, putting the pan back up. So today I'll give you a few tips and tricks on how to do the whole process, from draining it, from putting everything, taking everything off, putting everything on, and how to set level and all that stuff. So hopefully today's video helps you guys out. I wanted to point out the fluid we're going to be using today is from our sponsor, AMSOIL. I've been using AMSOIL for all my vehicles, the best oil out there right now. But this is the fluid for the Sprinter. I will link the fluid in the description below my video, so if you guys wanting to find the fluid, you guys will find it in the description of my video. The filter and the gasket, the bolts, and then all that stuff, and the filter, the transmission filter, you guys will have to get it from somebody locally, or I can actually put a link. I'll try to find it online. I'll put a link in the description below too, so you guys can buy it if you'd like to buy it online. Okay, so I'm underneath the vehicle. I'm on the driver's side right now. Looking at it from the driver's side, that's the front end of the vehicle, that's the back there, but this is the front, that's the back. Okay, so first things first, man, I think somebody did a transmission service, judging by the looks of these little metal things here. So somebody must have done it already, but we're gonna do it again anyways. I don't know, I don't trust it, but there's a pipe here that we will be bending down just a little bit. So I'll be putting a pry bar, and kind of where the torque converter little plug there is, we're just going to put it on the bell housing and just kind of bend this pipe just a little bit back to give us enough room to get the pan out. We may have to like twist the pan once we get it down, twist it to get it off. But on this side, so we're just going to be doing that, and then on this side we will have to pop this wire. There's like a little clip there. Let me see here, you guys, if I can show it to you guys with the light. There's a little clip there. We're gonna have to pop off that one too to take the wire away. And then there's I think that's a 10 mil star bit or whatever it's called. There's one there. I think that's it actually. Or maybe there's another one. Anyways, we're gonna have to pop this bracket off. This right here that covers the wire. We're gonna have to pop it off. Take that bolt off, take that off, pop these out, get them out of the way, and then we're ready to unbolt the transmission. But before we unbolt the transmission, the transmission oil pan, we will drain it. So we'll pull this plug, let it drain until it stops. Then there's a little plastic tube inside this pan that's called the leveling tube. Basically, that's what how you level your transmission oil. So what we'll do, we're gonna have to get a screwdriver and pop that off. So once we take this out, because that pipe will not allow the fluid to drain all the way from the pan. So if you try to take it off without popping that little plastic tube off, when you try to take this pan off, you'll spill a lot. So we'll unscrew this, let it drain, and then put a screwdriver there, pop that tube off, and it will drain some more after that, and then we're ready to pull the pan off. I'll show you along the way. It may be hard to understand how I'm explaining it, but I'll show you guys how I do it basically step by step. Okay, so now let's put this in here, and then let's bend this line down. You don't want to do too much, but just enough, just like that, just a little bit. And then now we're gonna use these guys right here. It's a 10, this star bit looking thing. I'll include these in the description, link to the Amazon where you can get these, but you'll need one of these. They're the same size here as it is for this little cover. So now I'm gonna pop that cover off, and then this wire with I have some clips or some of the thing to pop off the. You use a screwdriver or whatever you want to use this to pop the clips out and then move the wire out of the way. So that was just one screw, in fact, and then you pull it out, it kind of slides into that right there, the little bracket. So all you do, unscrew that screw and just pull it down and you're out of the way, and then you pop these out, and then now you have access to the transmission oil pan. So now we're going to change the transmission fluid in this. So now I'm going to be, next step of this whole thing is popping that out and letting it drain until it stops. Then we're going to use a screwdriver to pop the little inside the pipe, the little plastic pipe that's inside off, so we can drain as much as we can to minimize the spillage when we take this oil pan off. Okay, so now we're going to take a 6mm hex key and then loosen the drain plug, and it's going to be pretty tight from what I can feel right now. So we're going to have to try to do it with one hand. So it's a little more tricky than it looks, especially because, oh, there you go. It's loose now, so let's get it off. I want to make sure that the little washer stays on the plug. There you go. It's pretty clean, so this indicates to me that this was changed before, which is good. This only has about almost 50,000 miles, I think. So this is definitely not bad fluid. But we're gonna change it to AMSOIL, really high quality fluid. You can use different ones, but I like to use this one. So as you can see, it's kind of coming to a point that's barely, probably like a quart. That's barely any fluid that came out. So now I'm gonna grab a screwdriver of some sort, and I want to try to pop the pipe off. So you just grab a screwdriver and try to stick it in there. I don't know if it's possible in the Mercedes. I never done it in this one's. Maybe not. Huh. It may not be possible. Let me try to get a flathead. Maybe flathead screwdriver will do a better job. I see, you can see I'm twisting the pipe inside. If I can just pop it off. Or I can just hold it like this. You can see I put the screwdriver in there and I just twisted it, the pipe, which allows this fluid to drain. This will take a little while. Usually you don't want to do that. Well, not necessarily you don't want to, but it's just a little more annoying and time consuming. So usually you want to pop the little pipe off inside of there. I'll show you guys after I take the pan off which little pipe I'm talking about. But this is what we have to do now. So I'll do it to minimize the spillage when I pop the oil pan off. But man, I wish I could just pop the thing off. I might give it a shot, we'll see. But for now, this works. What I'm doing right now, I'm just basically pulling the pipe halfway, one half of it off the actual nozzle in the oil pan, and it's allowing fluid to pass by. So that's why it's still leaking. Because if you see, if I stop, see that? It doesn't leak at all anymore. There's no leakage. And then you put the screwdriver in, you twist it to the side, and you see it starts draining. As you guys can see, I managed to put, so what I did was I put the screwdriver this way and I tilted it towards the back of the car, of the truck, and it popped the pipe off. So now I'm just kind of waiting for it to stop. Once it stops, I will put the drain plug back in, and then we'll start unscrewing the oil pan bolts and taking the oil pan down. Okay, so now that we unbolted the oil pan, we're gonna lower it. And even though I think I popped that pipe off a little bit, so I drained a little more than I would have without doing it, it's still pretty full. So you can see it just lowers. If I try to tilt it this way, it starts draining from that side. If I tilt it a little bit this way, it starts draining from this side. So what you do on this one, you have to carefully twist it. You can see I'm sitting right now on the passenger side. You do this basically right there, and you're just gonna lower it into the, oops, I spilled it. I spilled some, but that's the way you do it. And this filter, I don't know if that was changed or not. The oil might have been drained, or it just got dirty. But yeah, now we have the oil pan off. Okay, so first things first, this is the little pipe that I was talking about. This pipe goes right here. So that's basically where, when the truck is running, or the van, the oil sits right there. That's the level. So when it's warm at about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, this is where the level is. And then when there's too much oil, when you set the level, it goes higher than this and it drains out. But the oil, it's full when it's up right there to it. So that's what keeps the oil when you're draining this. You're still not going to be able to drain it even if you pop this off, which without breaking is going to be a little difficult now. It's so slippery, but when you pop this off, you can see there's still a ridge, so it still leaves a little bit of oil in there. But this is the oil pan right now, and you can see there's some, this is a magnet, and it collected some shavings. Not crazy, but it's definitely there. So you can see it's like 40-50,000 miles. You need to change the oil, I think, in these every like 35 or 36,000 miles in these transmissions, especially if you're, you know, loading them and hauling stuff with them, because you can see I think I'm like almost 50,000 miles, and I don't know whether this oil has been changed or not. It looks like it has been, especially by the color of it. I don't think they changed the filter or wiped this down, because I mean, if they did, that's pretty surprising. So this oil definitely needs to get changed every 30,000 miles. I got this vehicle when it had like 40-something thousand, so I mean, I didn't drive it for a lot, but I decided to do this service because I don't trust anybody whether they did it or not. So on my truck, on the Mitsubishi box truck, and on this Mercedes, this is also my box truck, it's the 3500 XD. I'm doing services every like 35,000 miles because, like I said, I want to prolong the life of the transmission. And yeah, you can see there's debris even on the actual pan, on the bottom of the pan. So I'm gonna wipe this clean, everything, all the magnets and everything, and then I'm gonna put it back. This is the company that has the whole kit. This is the part number. This is I guess the Elring. So this is the OEM manufacturer. They manufacture OEM filters and gaskets and stuff. So this is a pretty good manufacturer. At least the store that I bought it from told me. I'll do my research on it, but yeah, they have basically they have a filter, they have a gasket, they have the new bolts, and they have even this right here. So even if you end up breaking this, they have a new one in the box. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so this is clean. Now I got the new gasket out. There's the new bolt. They even have the new drain plug, and they have the new drain plug. I may even just end up using this one. Got a new one anyways. Who knows? Maybe I should just go ahead and use it, because it literally looks identical to that one. Maybe not this time. Maybe I'll just keep this as a, because this is original. So this may be the same exact material. Maybe they even made it like that, but I'll probably keep this one for now since it has 50,000 miles. Next time I do it, I'll probably change it because plastic will deteriorate over time. It will become brittle. So around 100k miles, I'll definitely be changing that right there. But you can see they have new bolts, basically factory style, and then the new drain plug, even, and then the washer. And then here is the filter. That's the filter, the new filter that we're going to be using. Yeah, so we got everything to do to do this job. So yeah, we're gonna put the gasket back on here, and then I'm gonna go out there and then change the filter itself. pop this old filter out, I basically put my hand over here and I'm just gonna basically pry it just like that. Oil, and some oil will leak. You see that hole right there? So yeah, that's the old filter. So I'm gonna grab some oil and then also I'm gonna go to the new filter and I'm gonna lubricate the seal around the new filter. So the seal, when I pop it back in, so it's lubricated and it slides in nicely. Okay, so I just slid the new filter in. Now we're basically gonna do the same thing, basically in reverse motion, to put this oil pan back in. So I think we did it this way, just like this. You do the flat or the deeper pan on the passenger side. This is the forward, this is the forward of the vehicle, that's the back, and just twist it like this and we're basically back in place. So I'm gonna set it down right there. I got new bolts in these things right there, so I'm gonna put this on so you can see basically the oil pan slides into here just like that, and then you just kinda, I'm gonna start every single bolt with my finger. It's like the only one that's different, that's not like this, is a little bit bigger, that goes on the right side in the front right there where that little bracket mounts, if you remember. I'll show you guys in a second. What I was talking about, you see this one looks like this, not like that one right there. So this one goes on the right front of the transmission. So this is the passenger side front, because that's where the bracket mounts, in that hole right there. Okay, so we're putting this fluid in here in this container. I will be putting 5 quarts in here. This is the first time I'm using this, but I'll be hooking up air to it, filling it up with air, with fluid, and then air with pressure, and then I'll be filling it with this adapter that I got with this whole kit with this adapter. So we'll screw this into the transmission, into the pan where the drain plug goes, and then fill the 6 quarts in, or 5 quarts, and then we'll start the vehicle. I'll show you guys the process after that. Okay, so we could screwed in the adapter. It's like aluminum adapter, the Mercedes one, and I got one of the hose and then this quick connect. So I'm just gonna pop it on just like that. Well, my glove got stuck in there. Let's try to do that one more time, just like that. Make sure it's on, and then this is closed, this is open. So I'm gonna open it up, and I got my container here that basically is hooked up to this side here, and then to this pants I basically press the handle. I got the air hooked up, and let me see, what was that? I think it was just that thing right there. Keep releasing. Is it overpressurized or what? Okay, so you basically press this little button here, the handle, to pressurize this, and then it basically pushes the fluid out of it, and you just gotta slowly keep adding. As you can see right there, see that added pressure, and then as soon as it gets to red, that's why it pops the valve out to kind of release the excess pressure so this doesn't blow up. So yeah, and we're just going to keep pressurizing until we'll fully empty the fluid into the transmission, all 5 liters or 5 quarts, and then we're going to close this valve and then go and start the engine. Okay, so I was filling this between 20 and 30 psi. That was the sweet spot to get the fluid moving a little faster, but now I disconnected. The air was hissing, so I didn't want to show you guys the whole process. It was very annoying. Yeah, right here. So now we close the valve so it doesn't leak out, because as soon as I open this valve, you guys will see, you see that? The fluid starts coming out because it's overfull. So now I need to go start it, and then we need to set level with the car running in park. So we need to get it up to temperature. Some people do it like 5-10 minutes of idle, going through gears, and then they level it, set the level. I usually like to get the transmission temperature right around 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I basically will pop this open and wait until it trickles, and then I'll just close it up. That's the level going to be for me. That's how I usually do it, and I never had any issues. I've been doing this for almost 10 years, and yeah. Okay, so we got the car running. Now we're about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I let it idle maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Kind of cold out, but now let's I'm gonna pop the quick disconnect. You're gonna see the oil start draining right there. I'm gonna wait for the oil until it basically starts trickling. I'm almost tempted to just take it out so I can put the fill plug in. I mean the drain plug. There you go. There's that. And where did I put my drain plug? It is right there. Okay, so as you can see, it's draining pretty hard right now. So what I'm gonna have to wait until it basically starts like trickling really fast, dripping. Give it a second, because you gotta remember, I put in 1 quart, then I drain, so we can mix a little more. There you go, it's coming to an end right there. Basically, that's usually the point I like to get it to. It's very, very tricky, very slippery to put the drain plug back in, but we got it in. Got it in to keep it from draining much more, and then I'll tighten it in a second. We got the Phillips, I mean not the Phillips, the hex key. It used to be a little kind of snug, so I want it. It doesn't need to be necessarily because those copper washers are pretty soft, so they seal pretty good in comparison to the aluminum ones. And you gotta remember, I don't have that much leverage on this little thing, so yeah. So now we basically got that in, and I'm gonna go for a drive, just test drive it, make sure it shifts good and all that. But we're good, no leaks anywhere, so we're good to go. Man, the lighting sucks here, sorry. But yeah, I'm test driving the truck right now, the box truck. Drives amazing, shifts beautifully, shifts smooth, no issues of any kind. I double checked, make sure there was no leaks. After I get home, I will also double check, make sure it doesn't leak after a test drive. But everything seems great. I forgot to mention the torque spec for the transmission oil pan bolts is 8 Newton meters, so 8 Nm. I just got the little ratchet and I just did hand tight, but like I said, I've been doing this for quite a long time, almost 10 years. So I have a good feel for it. If you guys don't have a good feel for it, you might want to get a torque wrench that goes down to almost like 5 Newton meters or something like that. So really small torque wrench. Because I do not have one. I have one that basically goes to like 13 Newton meters. That's it. It doesn't go under it. And trust me, on these transmission bolts, you do not want to go below, above the 9 Newton meters. You go above that, you're gonna snap them. So you want to make sure you torque them at 9 Newton meters. I have a good feel for it, so I tightened them good. I never had an issue with that. But when I didn't trust myself, I used to torque everything in the first couple of years that I've been doing in a mechanic. I used to torque everything with a torque wrench. So I would highly suggest you guys get a torque wrench, especially if you haven't been working on cars for a while. But yeah, it's 9 Newton meters. But yeah, the vehicle, as I said, right now is driving beautifully. I don't notice any issues of any kind. If anything, it shifts better, but like I said, I didn't notice any bad shifting before, so it's hard for me to say, oh yeah, it shifts so much better now. It shifts great, so no issues. I always liked AMSOIL products. They're very high quality products. They're not cheap, but it's a very, very good product. They really take pride in manufacturing the best out there. They don't cut corners. There's only a few companies, high-end companies, that make engine oil and transmission fluid that I trust. There's I can count them on one hand, but for now, right now, AMSOIL is the best, and I'm going to be using them probably for the rest of my life. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully they're still around, but I use them in every single one of my trucks. If you guys keep if you guys pay attention to my channel, for those of you that are subscribed, I use AMSOIL in every truck. Like if any, and the trucks that I had shifting issues, like hard shifting or something like that, AMSOIL actually solved my problem. So with this one I didn't have any shifting issues. This one I just basically needed to service it. So this one was just a service maintenance thing, so to kind of prolong the life of the transmission, and then I wanted a better quality fluid than OEM. So yeah, now I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna get under the car, double check, make sure there's no leaks found after the test drive, and then we're good to go. And for those of you that are curious, that's my mileage, 51 to 100 right now. I got the vehicle, I believe it had 43, I want to say 42, 43,000 miles. So I basically put 10,000 miles on it so far, and I did an oil change. Obviously I always do that, and then I did a transmission oil change. I will post a video on this doing an oil change soon. I want to do it, I want to flush the system, because I only have like I think 2,500 to 3,000 miles on the oil, but I like to kind of flush the engine out, because I don't know who the person that had it before me, how long they did between oil changes. I usually like to do it every 5,000 miles. If they did every 10, I want to make sure I flush everything out of that engine. So I will change it at about 3,000 miles mark, so that will be soon. So I'll be posting that video on this truck too, on the van truck, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, let's go double check, make sure it has no leaks, and then we're good to go. All right, so yeah, took a test drive, brought it back home, checked for leaks, no leaks, so the truck is good to go. Now I'm gonna basically, from now on, I'm gonna use only AMSOIL in that truck, because I just, for my own sake, I've been, I had experience with OEM fluids. I worked at dealerships before. I also had experience with the low quality fluids, so I only use high-end fluids right now. So, and right now I'm using AMSOIL. I had the best experience. I used it in every one of my trucks, and some of the trucks that I used that I had hard shifting issues, the AMSOIL actually fixed them. So, and the AMSOIL, the inner wall, the fluid actually lasts longer than the OEM fluid. So that's big huge factor also. Not that I will be going with a new inner wall. I should be changing it like I always wanted to, every 30,000 miles on my work trucks, because my business trucks, so it makes me money. So I will be changing the oil every 30,000 miles on those with AMSOIL. I'll be switching basically all my trucks to that. Most of them I already switched. This one I bought recently in another truck, so I'll be switching that over soon too. Same thing for engine oil. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, comment in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. But it's pretty straightforward. It's nothing hard about this. To do it at home is fairly simple. Pointers that I would give before doing it for anybody that have never done it. Definitely don't snap the bolts. The bolts are 9 Newton meters, 9 Nm torque spec, or just get a little ratchet like I did. A small one is to kind of snug, get a feel for it. If you have a good feel, if you don't work on cars often, definitely get a torque wrench and just torque them to 9 Newton meters. They're very sensitive bolts, trust me. For the first couple times I snapped a few of them, and usually I would say you replace them. If it's your first time replacing them, you can get away without replacing them. They probably won't snap on you, but I would definitely highly recommend getting a kit that has new bolts. And then that green thing too, because if you end up breaking that green thing, you also have an issue. You need to stop and go buy one. So I usually buy a kit that has everything: the bolts, the green little pipe that goes in the oil pan, and the filter, and the gasket. Basically, that's all you need. So yeah, other than that, very simple job. Very simple job. If you guys don't have a thermometer or don't have a scan tool, just idle the truck for, like, if it's cold out, like 10 minutes. If it's not as cold, it's pretty warm, hot day, just do 5 minutes, shift through gears, a few gears, and then just pop that thing off, let the excess drain, and then when it starts trickling around, it's not draining anymore, just close it back up. What you don't want to have is a little bit less fluid than needed. A little bit more, tiny bit more, it's not going to hurt it. Obviously you don't want it too much more, but a little bit more, if you don't drain just a tiny bit, it's not going to hurt the transmission. So but other than that, it's fairly simple project to do. The tools I used made it very simple. I used to do it, just use this pump. I want to show you, let me show you guys, because I didn't always have this pump. Like I said, this is my first time using that transmission pump. Before, I just used this. I sucked the fluid out of the new gallon and just pumped it into the transmission, and that took forever. You can get one of these jugs, like a manual ones, if you don't have air. I'll link it in the description, because this one with the compressed air, I mean, maybe it makes it faster, but to be honest, right now I kind of wish I would have just got the other one. Yeah, it pressurizes it faster, and it's a little more expensive too. So I'll just link you guys the basic one, because not everybody will have compressed air at their hand. So I'll link the one in the description, that basically manual one that you pump up the air, pressurize it with manually, basically. So yeah, other than that, I will link all the tools in the description. If I forget something, definitely mention in the comments and I'll correct it. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. I know I talk a lot, but I think that's, for some people, it's very helpful, because I try to kind of portray as much, or get as much information to you guys as possible, so you guys have no confusion. Because like I said, a lot of these cars that I do is my first time doing them. Mercedes, not so much. In the Sprinter it is, but I've done this transmission in the other vehicle, Mercedes, smaller vehicle. So or at least similar one. So it's not my first time doing a Mercedes transmission fluid. So I try to kind of help you guys out. So this is more of like a DIY style, do it yourself at home. I have a lift, but obviously the lift, you're not going to put a box truck on the lift. At least I don't have, this lift does not support a box truck. But anyways, yeah, like I said, I don't want to talk anymore. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. As usual, see you next time. Peace.